Did you know that the Quran contains mysterious letters at the beginning of 29 surahs? The Quran itself defines these as the signs of the book. For example, Surah 12 verse 1, Alif Lam Ra. These are the signs of the clear book. But what do these letters mean? For one thing, these letters are numbers, just as Roman numbers. On the other hand, they are very closely connected to the miracle of 19. But what exactly does that mean? The Quran was mathematically encoded by the Creator, and the sum of these letters is a multiple of the number 19. In this way, God proves that the Quran has been safeguarded by Him. Here are a few small examples. In the image you can see Surah 19. Surah 19 begins with 5 different letter combinations: Kaf, Ha, Ya, Ain, Sad. The letters are highlighted in color, and the sum of these letters in this surah is a multiple of the number 19. If we count these 5 letters in surah 19, we get a total of 798, which is 19 times 42. There are many more examples we would like to list here. Surah 50 begins with the letter Qaf. The numerical value of the letter Qaf is 57, which is 19 times 3. Surah 68 begins with the letter Nun, and the total of the letter Nun is 133, which is 19 times 7. Surah 36 begins with the letter Ya and Sin. The sum of these two letters is 285, which is 19 times 15. But even more impressive is the combination of Ha and Mim. This combination appears from Surah 40 to 46. Here in the image, you can now see the text in the original Arabic. We will highlight all the Ha and Mims and count the letters Ha and Mim from Surah 40 to 46. Let's start. In Surah 40, the letter Ha appears 64 times and the letter Mim appears 380 times. In Surah 41, the letter Ha appears 48 times and the letter Mim appears 276 times. In Surah 42, verse 2 contains another combination of the letters Ain, Sin, Qaf. This will become relevant later. In Surah 42, the letter Ha appears 53 times and the letter Mim appears 300 times. In Surah 43, the letter Ha appears 44 times and the letter Mim appears 324 times. In Surah 44, the letter Ha appears 16 times and the letter Mim appears 150 times. In Surah 45, the letter Ha appears 31 times and the letter Mim appears 200 times. In Surah 46, the letter Ha appears 36 times and the letter Mim appears 225 times. Here you can see a table in the image showing the various results. This adds up to the total of 2147, which is 19 times 113. Praise be to God. But that's not all. If we now calculate the sum of the digits of the individual results, we will obtain the multiplier 113. As mentioned earlier, Surah 42 contains additional letter combinations. If we now divide the table into two parts, we get a total of 1121 in table 1 from Surah 40 to 42, which is 19 times 59. The sum of the digits is also a multiplier 59. We see the same pattern in the second table. From Surah 43 to Surah 46, we get a sum of 1026, which is 19 times 54. And here, too, the sum of the digits is 54. However, we have already mentioned that Surah 42 in verse 2 contains the letter combinations Ain, Sin, Qaf. This gives a total sum of 209, which is 19 times 11. The Quran has other significant features based on the number 19. The Basmala, which is the famous opening phrase of the Quran, consists of 19 Arabic letters and appears exactly 114 times in the Quran, which is 19 times 6. The Quran consists of 114 surahs, which is 19 times 6. In Surah 74, verse 30, the number 19 is mentioned. This number is described in verse 36 as a warning to the humanity. Verse 31 of the same surah states that the faith of the believers will increase and that the believers will not doubt, while the disbelievers will say, "What did God mean by this parable?" In verse 1, God mentions a certain person who is to rise up and warn. What is interesting is that Rashad Khalifa discovered the miracle in 1974. And this is Surah 74. This surah gives the attributes of a messenger coming with the number 19 as a warning. Rashad Khalifa even met with Muammar al-Gaddafi and was well known throughout the Islamic world. In 1988, Rashad Khalifa proclaimed himself as a messenger of God, not a prophet, because the Quran distinguishes between messengers of God and prophets of God in Surah 40 verse 34 and Surah 33 verse 40. The claim that there will be no more messengers is condemned in the Quran. God sends his messengers with clear proof, just as he sent Moses. In 1990 he was murdered in his mosque after scholars such as Bin Baz had declared him as an apostate. His work remained incomplete because the sum of the letters Aleph, Lam, Mim was never a multiple of 19. The reason was that the letter Aleph had been copied inaccurately by the scribes. However, God sent the exact same Quran that Muhammad received, letter by letter, through a messenger. The original Quran, exactly as Prophet Muhammad received it from God, has been published. On the website thecriterion786.org, the Mus'haf is called The Criterion. Is the very same Quran of Prophet Muhammad, letter for letter. You can also read other readings of the Quran on the website. The distinctive feature of the Criterion Mus'haf is this. All 14 different letter combinations found in the Quran, such as Alif Lam Mim, Alif Lam Ra, and so on, are multiples of the number 19 within their respective surahs. You can verify this yourself verse by verse in Phase 2. This Quran is encrypted with 7 global locks. You cannot add or remove a single letter without the system collapsing. In Phase 6, we provide a small sandbox. Click on Full Mus'haf, then click on Compute and see what happens. The website also features tutorial videos that explains everything in detail. Note, the Criterion Mus'haf is protected by copyright held by Memo Elch. Memo Elch is another messenger of God who was sent with the same scripture as Muhammad, Surah 98 verse number 2, a messenger from God reciting purified pages, in which are righteous writings, a scripture that was defiled by humans yet purified again through God's grace. In addition to the website, you can also read the following books: Quran, a visual presentation of the miracle by Rashad Khalifa. Then there is the book of Eddie Büchsel 19.